Lola. That's right, girl, you're on camera. Dogs like Lola are a big part of a lot of people's lives, and there's some things to keep in mind when it comes to dogs. And our furry children is what Loriana Hernandez calls them, of course, during the holiday season. Stephanie Ballard is here from Dogtopia of Austin to go over some tips that will come in handy when the doorbell rings and you have, 25 people coming over for a holiday meal or a party. It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, tell us what Dogtopia is. It's a doggy daycare.
It's a dog daycare and boarding facility.
Okay, great. Okay, so do you hear a lot of complaints or a lot of questions around holiday time
We
from
do
your
get
customers?
a lot of questions.
Yeah.
We also, of course, our capacity goes up during the holidays.
I bet.
With family members coming in town and, big meals being laid out. Sometimes it's safer to have the dog at a play day.
Right, okay, I like that, the play day.
But if not at home, then of course there's a lot of good tips.
Sure.
To keep them safe.
Well, give us a couple of those tips, because I know we were talking in the break that this can actually, I know it's stressful for us ladies trying to get, company situated and food on the table, but it's also stressful for our puppies.
Oh, yes.
Talk to us about that.
Well, this is their home, their territory. So a lot of times having multiple people come in that they're not very familiar with can be very stressful. So it's always good to kind of prepare your guests, make sure that they're aware that you do have a dog or any animal. One, just because they may have an allergy, so it's always good to know that ahead of time.
Yeah.
But it's always good to kind of prep your guest on your pet, the best way to approach your pet, to play with your pet.
Oh, that's great advice, because you never know, even as a guest, when the dog is jumping or, it's like, oh, wait, hold on.
Right.
She's a little feisty. Be patient with her.
Calm.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Or even the opposite. Some pets are a little more timid and may be uncomfortable, especially if you have small children that are coming for the holidays. And, a small child running at a dog with hands out ready to pull a tail or tug on an ear can be very intimidating.
Sure.
So it's always good to watch for that.
So what about limiting the changes to a dog's routine? Why is that important?
That's very important. Much like kids, dogs are very schedule-oriented. So it's very good to keep, meals at the same time. If you do, daily walks at a certain time, you should still do that through the holidays. That'll really help reduce their stress.
Right. See, Loriana was right. It is like our furry children, right? Okay, something neat on that graphic, too. Remember your doggy manners. What do you mean by that?
Well, kind of what I was saying before. It is very intimidating for a dog to have multiple people rush at them. To have somebody come right up and just get in your face and pull on your ears and all that can be very intimidating. We wouldn't want anybody to do it to us, obviously. It's kind of the same way with the dog. It can make them uncomfortable. So it's usually best to let them kind of approach your guest the way that they want to until they get comfortable. And then once you notice that your pet is comfortable, then it's okay for them to go reach, pet, play with, kind of fill it out, make sure that they're okay.
No, sure. And then in order to avoid all that, you can kind of create a little doggy oasis in a separate room, right?
Yeah, and that's also another way to keep them away from your holiday goodies.
Let's talk about that
very
too.
Tempting.
Is it something? Do you see a little tummy problems with the dogs?
Oh, yes.
Okay, talk about that.
A lot of times we want to share the festivities with our pets. It's probably not the best idea to give them our human food.
Yes.
That can create a mess later on, obviously. There's also a lot of foods that we eat every day that can be toxic to dogs.
Okay.
So you have to be very careful with that. So that doggy oasis, as you were saying, is a great idea. Kind of, in a room by themselves, but make it fun for them. Put some toys in there. Put some doggy treats, a chew bone, something special for them.
Right.
So it's their own little holiday, too.
Yeah, and it keeps everyone safe and happy that way.
Yes.
Stephanie, thanks so much. That's great. We'd love to have you back on.
Thanks.
Lola, you did a great job down there. Yes, she heard me. Yes, ma'am. Okay, thanks, Stephanie, with Dogtopia of Austin. Up next...